thought that pursuing goals and being practical don't go hand in hand, well, then this episode can help. I'm a huge believer when it comes to pursuing goals. However, I'm also a huge believer in being practical. So if you want to find out whether you are being practical about the goals that you are currently pursuing or even thinking about pursuing, then you may want to stick around. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Up It and the Actionables podcast. If you're a returning viewer or a listener, thank you so much for tuning back in. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Payden. This channel brings you mindset coaching tips that can help you move toward your life goals in a simple way. So if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. That way you can get notified every time we bring you content, which is every week. And with that, let's jump into this episode. The way you approach your goals and everything that you do in order to reach your goals should obviously serve you. So first, let's talk about believing in your goals. Now, if we've assumed that everything that you do should serve you, how does not believing in your goals serve you? It doesn't, right? And yet, we indulge in self-doubts. And reasons for indulging in such self-doubts can be plenty. It can be lack of confidence, it could be peer pressure, or it could just be plain negative self-talk. Here's something that I'd like you to consider. What if failure was not an option with what you're pursuing? Like if you could not fail at all with whatever you're trying to accomplish, how would you be pursuing that goal? Pretty fearlessly, right? So here's my suggestion when it comes to believing in your goals. If you can get yourself to operate from this core belief that what you're pursuing matters to you, and if you can get yourself to take action regardless of the self-doubts that you have, then you'll not only move toward your goals, but you have a higher chances of achieving that goal. And you'd be able to do that because you would be operating from this core belief that you are unstoppable. Now that we have spoken about believing in our goals, let's go ahead and check if we are being practical about those goals. Before we get into that, I'd like to hear from you as to how do you go about believing in your goals. Leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So here are a few ways to check whether you are being practical with your goals. Number one, are you really making progress with whatever you're trying to achieve and whatever you are doing currently? Get honest with yourself and see whether your actions are actually moving you toward the end result. Often we may confuse our busyness with being productive. So the way to ensure that your actions are actually making an impact, you have to make sure whether you are progressing. And the way to do that is to measure your progress. I've done a whole other video on how to measure your progress. Be sure to check out this video. I will link it in the description box below. Second, how does it make you feel? Okay, my cat is up. Now, the goal that you are pursuing, if you are pursuing it half-heartedly or being stressed out with it, then you need to evaluate your actions and your internal process. Because think about it this way, what you are trying to achieve, if it really matters to you, shouldn't you be having fun while pursuing your goal? Like, who said that you need to be stressed out about it? Instead, it is up to you. You can choose to make your journey fun. Like, really, have fun with it. As it is, the journey is hard enough. Why do you have to make it harder by being hard on yourself? I can't believe how many times I use the word hard there, but you get my point. Instead, find new ways, alternative ways, creative ways to make your process enjoyable. Like, yes, we've got to do the necessary things, but we can attempt to do those things in a fun and an enjoyable manner. We don't have to get all serious. Third, are you being aware of your end goal? What this means is whatever goal you're trying to achieve, whether it is a real need or simply a want, recognizing that can take off unnecessary pressure that you may put on yourself. Recognizing that your goal is going to take some time, you can then assess whether the actions that you're doing are adding up, which in turn will affect your process, your state of being, and your way of approaching your entire goal. Fourth one is it affecting your relationship with yourself and with others. If your goal is making you less happy, less healthier, and more importantly, if it is affecting your relationship with yourself and with others, then you may want to assess the way you're pursuing your goals. Because sometimes while we're trying to pursue something that we really believe that makes a lot of sense and we get very excited about it, however, it can have a negative impact on our loved ones and on people who depend on us. And while it is important that we do what feels right to us and pursue our goals, we have to take a step back and assess whether what we can do to not jeopardize our relationships. Because at the end of it, whatever you're trying to achieve, if it does not make you happier, healthier, and basically a better version of yourself, then is that goal really worth it? So if your goal is not helping you be a healthier and a happier version of yourself and instead be painful to somebody else, then you may want to assess what you're trying to pursue or how you're pursuing that goal. So there you have it. Those are some of the ways you can check whether you are being practical with your goals. I hope this helped. If it did, don't forget to leave me a comment below and tell me how this episode resonated with you. I love to hear from you guys. And that's a wrap on this episode. Thank you so much for watching or listening on our podcast. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. And I will see you next week. Till then, remember, what you want matters and it's really up to you to make it happen.